Welcome to Charts Today. Today's edition comes to you from Sydney in Australia. Another hot day here, Thursday the 11th of December. And we start with looking at the Bloomberg targets. And today I want to cover the Magnificent Seven. So first of all, the first thing is I'm looking at the NASDAQ. Obviously, the Magnificent Seven is a very big part of the NASDAQ 100 index. And one of the things to do, first of all, with the price targets is to actually look at this time price unit ratio. This is one of 5 methods for projecting the price targets into the future. If you want to understand the other methods, take a look at the 90 slide Bloomberg explainer, which I will put in the comments. But the key thing here is that we are roughly running at 2 to 1. So this is a unit of price, 0.5% of price running every 2 days on the daily chart. And these thrusts, remember these buying thrusts, and then the activation where the green dot is what produces the price target. These are derived from point and figure chart targets developed in the 1940s. So this is just a new way of looking at an old technique. And we see here the price is running up on the NASDAQ. We're breaking to new highs, and we're roughly following this trajectory of 2 to 1. 2 to 1 is the level that we recommend that you use. And if you want to use these targets on the Bloomberg, just type APPS LIN go on your Bloomberg, and you can actually get straight to the targets. It will take you to the targets, and you can download them there, and you can then use them on your Bloomberg. So really quite key. So let's look at the 7 stocks one by one using this 2 to 1 ratio of time price for the target projection. Remembering that we also want to see price above the average to give us more feeling that the target is going to be met. We're in an uptrend, and these levels of support and resistance that we put on the charts as part of the package are also important. So first of all, you end up doing quite a lot of manipulation with the Bloomberg just to make sure that you can actually see the targets into the future. And here we see on Apple, target is 278. That was given back here at around 230. So that was the target given back then, and we see that we're just running a little bit below that trajectory. So that's really quite key there. But that's the target for Apple. We then move to Amazon. And again, you can manipulate the chart just so you can see the target. We've got a target here of 246. Amazon breaking to new highs. That was the thrust that produced, and that's the activation. That's the target that's produced. Notice also that we had a target previously off that thrust. We then activated that target, and that target has been met. It was met a little bit quicker than the projection, and that's the key thing. Sometimes we met quicker, sometimes slower, but this is the 2 to 1. That's the recommended. And you will find if you're trading different instruments, you will need to use different ratios, and that's the real key. And that comes out in the explainer with the 90 slides. So I really recommend you watch that if you're using the targets. So we've got a target on Amazon, and we're running ahead of schedule there to the target, if you like. Looking at Google, Alphabet, again, we can actually just manipulate the chart here. We had a target here previously. If we actually look back, that target was given way back in March. We had an upside target. This target was given earlier. That was met later. This target, around 2/3 of the way along the target, we started to see a downward move. We had a downside target. We fell below the average. That was a sign that this target was probably not going to be met in the time frame. We then got a new target off the bottom, and now we're running a bit sideways. We've fallen, and then bang, we've broken to new highs, and this is the target. So we're now running ahead of that 2 to 1 trajectory. 210, 214, different targets producing buying thrusts to these levels. So really quite key. Now looking at Meta, we see here, this is a really interesting one. Target here on this 0.5% value, we don't have a new target. This target was met a little bit later. I could adjust the target units if I wanted to see for more sensitive targets. So you can always find targets by changing the unit size, and of course we could go to the 60-minute chart as well if we were shorter term. So that one is really quite interesting. Been met, no new target given. We need a pullback, a low, an uninterrupted buying thrust, and then an activation to give us a new target. We just haven't met those conditions on this 0.5% unit size. Again, that is all clear in the explainer. Now, Microsoft is quite interesting, not making new highs. We've got targets here to 459, 480. This one is in train at the moment. We're running a little bit ahead of projection, so that's looking a little bit better. We've broken that previous resistance level. There is strong resistance probably back at this previous high, which is roughly where that target level is. You always want to line up the resistance levels with the targets. That gives you, again, more strength and feeling that the target is going to be met. So that's quite an interesting one. Now, NVIDIA, of course, this has been probably the most newsworthy stock for the last year or two. And here we see the targets given. We've got a massive upside target at 219 for NVIDIA. Don't get too excited. This 158 is the one that we're currently focused on. We've got good upside support. Mostly we're in a little bit of a consolidation phase right now. We're seeing that cutting through the average, but we are holding that what was resistance becoming support. And again, notice just how previously these targets were given, met. This actually met ahead of schedule. These targets, we really are running in train. So for the moment, NVIDIA looks strong. We've got a support level there. That's the one to watch around 130. So keep an eye on that as well. And last of all, we look at Tesla. And Tesla has been running well ahead of its targets. And in fact, the targets have been met. And again, if we wanted to adjust that, we could go and change this here. And if we go to 0.5 for the upside, we will see that actually that Tesla is now running in line with those targets. So we can see that 2 to 1 was just too slow for Tesla. But again, the target was given back here in November. We see here on the 6th of November that was activated. That was the thrust that activated it, and it was met very, very quickly indeed. So sometimes you need to look back historically. And one of the techniques is that you can actually set the targets to project based on how the targets have been met in the past. That's technique number 5. Look at it in the Bloomberg explainer. Remember, go to the APPS portal, grab the targets, APPS LIN Go, and start playing with them yourself on any chart. It's really quite key, and you can just get a handle on how these buying thrusts are producing the overall potential of the targets. That's it for today. I'm going to enjoy this lovely sunshine here. Until next time, happy charting. Bye for now.